Much for joining our webinar today. My name is Rosie and I'm an examinations administrator here at the Ophthalmology Foundation. Just as a small bit of information about the Ophthalmology Foundation before we get into our exams. The Ophthalmology Foundation has been in operation for just over 5 years now. And its mission is to eradicate unnecessary blindness worldwide through education, especially in under-resourced countries. It's very much a global community. Our board of directors is made up of members throughout the globe, as well as our examinations focused committee, who also has members throughout the world. The Ophthalmology Foundation offers a host of different programs in education, but our latest initiative is our examinations, which we are here to talk to you about today. If everyone could just introduce themselves on the call before we start proceedings. Nicola, starting with you.
Evening, everyone. My name is Nicola Quilter and I'm the Examinations Director for the Ophthalmology Foundation.
Great, thank you. And then Dr. Abdallah.
Hello.
Thank you. And then Dr. El-Shdiri, if you could introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Professor Shtewi. I'm on the Examiners Committee and one of the teams for Ophthalmic Foundation, hoping all the success.
Thank you. And then Vicky.
My name's Vicky and I'm an Examinations Administrator for the Ophthalmology Foundation.
Great, thank you very much. So Nicola has a presentation prepared to talk you through our examinations. And just before she begins, we do have a Q&A box at the bottom of your screen. So throughout the course of the webinar, if you do have any questions for the team, please feel free to drop them in at the bottom and we will get to them at the end in our Q&A session. Thank you very much. Over to you, Nicola.
Thank you, Rosie, and thank you for everyone that's joining us today. Today, I'm pleased to introduce the Ophthalmology Foundation International Examinations, which are internationally standardized assessments designed to support the excellence, consistency, and fairness of ophthalmology worldwide. Sorry, I lost you then. The examinations are delivered across the world. They're internationally recognised and globally standard set by the Ophthalmology Foundation executive team, and they allow candidates from many regions to access the same high quality assessment. Wherever a candidate trains or practices, the standard remains exactly the same. At their heart, these online exams assess knowledge across the full breadth of ophthalmology. They provide a reliable and meaningful way to benchmark performance locally, nationally, and internationally. The fees are based on the World Bank Index, meaning that they are low cost compared to any other international exam. And there is a 3-way and a 6-way payment plan to also support candidates' application and spread the cost. And this can be found on the application page. As you're moving through to payment, you have an option of 3 months and 6 months. Next slide. All of our question papers are aligned to the BCSC. Their alignment to the international standard. It covers the full breadth of ophthalmology training. It ensures consistency and global comparability. And they're regularly reviewed by the exams executive committee, and that's the questions and the papers. Papers go through a rigorous process of checking, and the papers go through around 20 to 30 specialists before they become live on exam day. The oversight of the examination is provided by an experienced team of international executives. And as you'll see from the list here, our chair is Louisa Mayer. He's actually based in the UK, but he's actually from Colombia. We have Richard Bowman, Rebecca Ford, who are the exam leads for the visual sciences and the clinical paper. And then as you move through the list, you'll see Carl Golnick is head of our education. Bertolt Seitz is head of our fellowship program. And then we have Professor Mahmoud El-Shdiri, who's on the call today, who has got a vast experience in education and examinations. So we're really pleased that he's on our committee and also on our call this afternoon. The exams framework is carefully structured into three sections. So we have visual sciences, optics, refraction, and instruments, and a clinical ophthalmology exam. And together, these reflect the progression from scientific foundations through optics to comprehensive clinical practice. So the visual science is 120 single best answer questions over a 3-hour period. And subjects include things anatomy, genetics, pharmacology, imaging, ophthalmic pathology. I'm going to show you now an example of one of the questions. I think it's fair to say that we are testing knowledge. We're not testing English language. So from our exams, you will find that the style of question is quite repetitive. And the example here is regarding the blood-retina barrier. So we're always asking about one particular thing. Which one, so we're looking for one correct answer, of the following statements is most likely to be true? And then you'll see from A to D that they are listed in alphabetical order. And this, if you're not, a first language is not English speaking, then this is much easier to be able to read through and recall. If you skip a question, you can go back and think, yeah, that's it. I remember that's B or C, alphabetical order. Next slide, please. Optics and refraction is 60 single best answer questions over 1.5 hours, and these include optics, refraction, and instruments, and they're equally weighted with 20 questions in each subject. Example here again, so we're looking at which one of the following is the orientation of the streak of light when performing retinoscopy for astigmatism. So again, we're looking for one correct answer, and the possible answers listed A to D are alphabetically arranged, and there'll be one correct answer. I'd like to say as well that all of the three papers, there is no negative marking. So you receive 1 point for each correct answer. But if you're unfortunate and you do get the question wrong, there is no negative marking. So my advice would be that if you are unsure, take an educated guess on the question because you have a 25% chance of getting it right. Because this is an online exam, what it does, it enables us to use photographs, videos, tables, so it can be quite interactive. The clinical ophthalmology exam is 160 single best answer questions over a 4-hour period, covering subjects for neuro-ophthalmology, orbit, uveitis, glaucoma, cataract retina, and also some general medicine related to ophthalmology. Here's an example of the question. As I said, we can upload videos, eye movements, photographs, tables, and it's very much more a clinical orientated question. So it's very clinical scenario. And so this is about the photograph shown, and we're looking for the most appropriate area to evaluate on MRI scanning is which one, again, one correct answer of the following. And you'll see again, A to D, possible answers listed alphabetically. To further support accessibility, the Ophthalmology Foundation exams are translated into several languages. Practice questions are available via the website. So we have practice questions on the website that covering all subjects, and you can go on and get some kind of feel about what the question types we ask and what we're looking for. And we have suggested reading lists aligned to the exam's content, which is also available to download on the website. Access to high quality educational material. And then we're also working with CyberSite, which is part of Orbis, for a dedicated portal for the Ophthalmology Foundation exams. And we are working at the moment on retina and glaucoma, which will be available very soon via our website. And there's about 200, 250 practice questions in each of those that you can go on free of charge and practice, and it will give you the correct answer. So exemptions. Firstly, I'd like to say we want you to pass, and that's why we provide you with the material that we hope that will enable you to do so. And we understand the BCSC that it's mapped to is quite expensive. So those are the materials that we hope will help you achieve your score, your correct score. But we also don't expect you to sit exams that you may have already taken. So we do exempt the exams from International Council of Ophthalmology. So if you have been successful in the visual and optics before or including 2022, we will accept those. exemption from our visual and optics, and you can move directly to the clinical. We're also working closely with COEXA, and we recognise the visual and optics from COEXA exams, and also the Royal College exams from the UK, and that's the London, the Glasgow, and Edinburgh. We're also exempting now, just in the last few days, the FICO exams. So if you have been successful in the Advanced 115 or the Advanced 180 from ICO, then we'll also exempt you and you can move directly on to our clinical exam. As I mentioned, we translate into Chinese, English, French, Portuguese, Spanish, and Vietnamese. And if there was a request for another language, then we would look into that and the need for that and implement that. All exam questions are written by international subject experts. And each question, as I said, undergoes meticulous review to ensure clarity, relevance, and consistency. And the question bank is regularly updated. New questions are being written every week and uploaded, and those are used for the exam papers. And to ensure consistency of standards, we use around 10%, recycle 10% of the questions from paper to paper to make sure that the standard is the same and the same cohort of candidates. The exams are criterion referenced and standardized using what we call an Angoff method. And this also supports fairness and enables a meaningful comparison of outcomes across regions and institutions. We like to work with global partners, and we are supported and work closely with Wills Eye Hospital and the Wilmer Eye Institute. And our main aim is to develop in partnerships with leading eye institutions and societies. And we are aligned with the AAO, the Basic Science, Clinical Sciences standards as well. And we've recently signed MOUs with the Arab Board, the Egyptian Society, Mongolian Society, and we are currently working with the Royal College of Physicians and Surgeons of Glasgow, and in the next few weeks hope to announce that we will be offering reciprocity with them, which means if you have passed our exams, you will be exempt from elements of their exam and you can move through their pathway. So our delivery is modern, secure, and reliable. It's online exam at a local centre. It's in-person invigilation as well as remote AI monitoring. And what that means is it picks up any background noise, any eye movement, any unusual screen movement whilst you're taking the exam. And it's a secure and reliable platform. This allows us to make sure that everything is fair. Many candidates ask whether you can take the exam at home, and at the moment, that would be a no. Sessions are held yearly, twice yearly, in March and September, and the results are released within a 2-week period. And it's credit to Vicky and Rosie that the results were released for the March exam within 6 days. We understand that it's quite an anxious time. You know, have I been successful? What are my scores? Can I move on to the next sitting? So we believe that releasing the results within a 2-week period is essential for our trainees and candidates. So the question is, why take this exam? So you're taking exams part of your everyday training. But this is an international exam. It's internationally recognized certification. You can benchmark yourself as an individual and also institutional performance. It's a cost-efficient way to move through a pathway. And once there is hopefully reciprocity with Glasgow, it's a cost-effective way to move through another system also. You get exam points towards an IOF application fellowship, and we'll talk more about that in a moment. And we run over 100 fellowships, offer over 100 fellowships with the IOF and the Ophthalmology Foundation yearly. You will gain a post-nominal FIOF, so you become a fellow of the International Ophthalmology Foundation upon passing the clinical exam. And what we believe this does is enhances the quality of patient care worldwide. And I think that's our main aim for us as a charity, but also for you as clinicians, is to give the best possible care for your patients. There is also an award. So for those who are the top passing trainee for the clinical exam over the two sittings, so in 1 year over the March and the September sitting, we have a David and Molly Pyatt Foundation Travel Award. And that is 10,000 US dollars to the top passing trainee candidate. I was lucky enough to make the call this year to the awardee who was from Ethiopia and was taking the exam in Rwanda. And that was a great call to make. And they're using it to travel to the American Academy, I believe, this year, and also for a fellowship. So candidates can consistently describing the exams as fair, clinically relevant, and well delivered. And here you'll see they're bridging every known barriers to accessibility and affordability. And I think the main thing about affordability is the 3 months and the 6 months. This candidate, the questions are well structured, clinically orientated, and really tested both theoretical knowledge and practiced understanding. And it wasn't just about remembering facts. So there is a lot. You do have to study for this exam, which I think is important to say. I think you have to make sure that you've got enough time to prepare for the sitting. And this face you'll all recognize, and it's a smooth experience from start to finish. And I think, you can apply online, you can make payment online, you can ask questions to us online via the portal, and then your results will get uploaded to the portal as well. So you'll receive an email from us, and then also your results will be present on the exam portal. And so future developments, what are we looking for? We're looking to run subspecialty exams from March 27, and that is in retina and glaucoma. We're working on those now, and the application process opens in August for those. And so there's two pathways. I think if you are training as a subspecialty specialist now, then you can apply for those exams. And equally, if you wanted to gain your FIOF in clinical and then move on to those, then that's another pathway. So you can either get a certification or certification with FIOF. As I mentioned, we're looking for reciprocity and we're in contact with Glasgow and hope to be able to announce our collaboration at the end of this month. And then also for the Ophthalmology Foundation Fellowships, it will be a prerequisite to pass an Ophthalmology Foundation exam, either visual or clinical, to be able to apply for a fellowship from 2027. So these are the things that we're working on, and we hope to then introduce subspecialty exams from September 27 in other subjects, including pediatric and orbit. So we are modern, efficient, and affordable. If you would like further information, then please, ask the questions on the Q&A or scan the QR code. We're on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube. We are working, every day. So if you have any questions, then please feel free to email us. And we are also in the process of setting up a global WhatsApp group where you have the option to join and receive information. So it's been a pleasure to talk to you today. Thank you very much for joining and your time. And I look forward to hopefully receiving your application form in the near future. Many thanks.
Thank you. Thank you, Nicola.
Thank you very much, Nicola. Dr. Abdallah, if you'd like to share your presentation now, I have enabled it, so you should be able to share your screen. Thank you.
Okay, I think now the screen is.
Yep, we can see your screen.
Yeah. Good evening, everybody. First of all, I would like to thank the Ophthalmology Foundation for organizing this webinar and for giving me the opportunity to speak with you today. Today, I would like to share some reflection on the international education and professional development and the opportunities available to young ophthalmologists in Libya. And actually, my message today is very simple. is thinking globally and grow professionally and serve locally. So what's the challenging and the challenging the challenges and the opportunities for the young ophthalmologists in Libya? Libya actually has a mini strength. One of the main strengths that we manage a wide variety of pathology and we gain excellent clinical experience in some hospitals and some centers in Libya. And these are advantage, but also at the same time we face challenges. Access to subspecialty training programs. This may be the most important problems that we facing in Libya, and internationally mentorship opportunities may be very limited in Libya, and also the research opportunities can be very limited also in Libya. There some of the centers in Libya lack of a lot of facility for performing a very excellent researches. And alongside these challenges, actually, there are also opportunities. Today, the international education resources, examination, fellowships, and webinars, and the collaboration networks are more accessible than even before. And the challenges is not lack of talent. We have talent. We have a very good, actually, experienced young ophthalmologist. But the challenge is connecting this talent with the opportunity. The Ophthalmology Foundation help us to create this connection through education, through examination, mentorship, professional development opportunity. So why we have to think globally? Why every young ophthalmologist should think about international exams and international fellowships. As we all know, that ophthalmology today is actually a global profession. The guidelines we follow, the research we read, the technology we use, and even the conference we attend are internationally based. So one important reality that every young ophthalmologist should understand that when you apply for fellowship or research position or even international training opportunity, the committee who reviewing your application may not be familiar with our local qualification like the Libyan board or diploma or even the clinical master that we have. Of course, that doesn't mean that our Libyan board is not a strong qualification. It's very nice qualification, but the problem and the fact is that I believe that this committee are not familiar with our programs. So in fact, I believe that the Libyan ophthalmologists receive excellent clinical training and gain valuable experience from managing a large volume of patients and diverse pathology. But unfortunately, many international institutes may not be fully understand the level of a training behind our local qualification. This is where international recognized examination becomes very important for us as a young ophthalmologist. They provide a standardized benchmark that's is understood worldwide and help demonstrate your knowledge and commitments and what you actually read and what you actually qualified for. The goal is not actually complement them with internationally recognized experience, but ultimately the goal and the global engagement is not about collecting certificates, is about opening doors, creating opportunities, and becoming a better ophthalmologist for the patients we serve. So why we need to building bridge, not borders. Throughout this presentation, we have actually discussed international education, opportunities, challenging, mentorship, research, and leadership. But at the center of all of these elements is one important concept: is connection. So the future of ophthalmologists actually depends not on working in isolation, but in building connections, connection between countries, connection between mentors and trainees, and connection between local talent and global opportunities. This is exactly what the Ophthalmology Foundation is helping to achieve through education, examination, as we said, mentorship, and clinical fellowships and international collaboration. It's helping, build the bridges that connects young ophthalmologists to opportunities around the world. And our responsibility is to cross these bridges, to learn, to grow, and to collaborate, and ultimately to bring this knowledge and our experience back to our patients and communities. So I think it's my experience from the Ophthalmology Foundation examination and international fellowship program. It will be a very nice opportunities for our young ophthalmologists to complete their subspecialty in worldwide. I think there are more than 100, I think, hosts in the international ophthalmology programs that you can choose between hand-on exposure, between observership, and there is, I think, all the subspecialty are available for you to choose and to have your training in these very prestigious centers. Thank you for your listening, and thank you again for to the Ophthalmology Foundation and for the International Ophthalmology Foundation for their tremendous what they give us is beyond imagination and beyond the words I can express. It's actually changing our life, changing the our communities and the healthcare in Libya. For me, it was a very one time. Uh, I don't know what I can say more, but I'm encouraging everybody to have this examination and to have the opportunity to grow themselves and to connect with the opportunities outside Libya. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Abdallah, and thank you so much for all your work in organizing this webinar as well. We couldn't have done it without you, so thank you. And that was a wonderful presentation, so thanks for doing that as well. I'm not sure if Professor El Stewie is still. Oh, yeah, he's here. Hello, Professor El Stewie. If
Hello.
you'd like to say a few words.
Yeah, I won't be talking too long because I'm waiting for my flight next 20 minutes or so. I want to say that we do a lot of work with the Ophthalmic Foundation, Libyan Young Ophthalmologist. I'm pleased that I am the founder of the Libyan Young Ophthalmologist, and I did establish this idea from which it becomes worldwide from Libyan now. After I established the Libyan Young Ophthalmologist and has its rule, we are, as a Libyan Young Ophthalmologist, we have a good connection. We registered with the American Academy, we registered with the European Society for Fractive and so on. And we also registered with, as we say, with the American Academy. And the next step, which will go with the Ophthalmic Foundation and the Libyan Young Ophthalmologists, is the Royal College Arab Young Ophthalmologists, which take over all the Arab countries, with their ophthalmic society. We are planning, and as I talked to Nicola before, we are preparing launching our program with the Royal College, and we'll be working together with Ophthalmic Foundation. I think there's a good chance for Ophthalmic Foundation in Libya and all the parts of the world, especially where I mean in Arab country, and hoping all the success. I won't be much long. The other thing is, I just want to ask, what about if we can consider it, not here in this meeting, but we consider like Arab board qualification, which is we just signed an agreement between MOU between Royal College, not Royal College, sorry, between Ophthalmic Foundation and Arab board of specialty. Sometimes we may help to get more candidates if we examine them from the first part of the examination and so on. They have a good years of experience. It's worldwide. In the meantime, at some stage, we have to consider Libyan board. But at this stage, I think we have to reconsider it not in the near future, because I have my own comment about Libyan board specialty at the moment for international recognition to a certain extent. Because it is important thing when you say things is in right position or thing is the problem is we used to have exams in Libya. We have a good relation, but unfortunately with the change of the system in our country and political change in Libya and Egypt and Iraq, there's a lot of conflict and it affects our education. That's where the new generation, they may not know that fellowship being run in Libya before run in Egypt. But the new generation, they may not know that. We ran the fellowship first, second, and third part in Libya from 2001 to 2010. Then after the new revolution, we stopped and it is moved to Egypt. Just to give it a history to the young generation who may not know that. So we have a big history. We can help and wishing all the best for Ophthalmic Foundation. And I'm quite sure that they will be going well, especially after we getting the recognition from the Royal College, which I expected very soon, inshallah. Thank you very much and best of luck for anybody.
Have a safe flight.
Thank
Yes,
you.
have a safe flight. Thank you for joining.
Thank you, Nicola. Thank you.
We're
Thank
now
you.
moving on to
Bye-bye.
the Q&A portion of the webinar. So thank you so much to everyone who did submit questions upon registration. I can see there's some more coming through in the Q&A box, so please feel free to drop any questions you may have down there as we go through these questions now. So Vicky, I'll hand it over to you.
Thank you, Rosie. So the first question we have is for Nicola. Is there only one fellowship offered to the top achieving candidate between March and September?
The award is actually a David and Molly Pyatt grant. So it's a travel grant. So that isn't a fellowship. If you wanted to use it towards a fellowship, then you could do. You could use it for this 3 month, 6 month, or a year. We actually transfer the money over to you, and then you tell us what you're doing with it. So you can travel to the American Academy, or you can travel to different meetings using that money as well. Fellowship in itself, we run over 100 a year. So the opportunity there, I think we're the biggest organization of fellowships for ophthalmology worldwide. So you do have a good chance if you apply at present to be successful in your application. And part of that will be from 27 is taking the exams, and being successful in the exams will allow you to move through to a fellowship application. So and we're looking for sponsorship all the time. So those fellowship numbers we hope to increase over time. So no, it's not just one. That's the travel grant. So that's separate to the fellowships.
Thank you, Nicola. Next question we have is, what is the cost?
All customers should.
Sorry.
The next question is, what is the cost of the exams in Libya?
I think Rosie's about to put the costs up. I don't have them in front of me. Rosie, do you have those?
I can answer. The second part was $350.
Clinical section, yeah.
I've just put them into the chat box.
Yeah, thank you. So it's $250 for visual, $175 for optics, and $350 for the clinical. As we said, you can make the payments over 3 months, and we've just put in place a 6 month. So it just allows you to spread the cost, which we hope will make them slightly more affordable. But they are half the cost of any other international ophthalmic exam currently available.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I would like to clarify something for the young ophthalmologist who asking about the training opportunities. It's actually, I think every year there is 2 application will be open in the March and I think in September. This application, I think almost every time there will be about 30 person will have the opportunity to have the training and the fellowship in their own choosing for the host, any host that you choose in, for example, in Europe or in India, in Pakistan, in Bangladesh, there will be hand-on training. And in Europe, most of the center will be observership. So if you, for example, you want the neuro-ophthalmology or cornea and external eye disease, or for example, uveal tissue or uveitis, most of this is, observership. So you can choose Europe. But if you want, for example, glaucoma surgery or vitreoretina surgery or cataract surgery, it will be, the good choice for you is India or Bangladesh or Pakistan. Some centers in Egypt also provides this hand-on training program. So actually, there will be about 60 places for training every year, something like this.
For air
But I
traffic.
think that's important to say that, as you said, there are a lot of observership. I went to India for a conference to talk in one center and actually watched one of our fellows hands-on surgery. So it depends what you're looking for and where you choose to go, but you can get some really good practical experience.
Thank you. The next question is, how many centers are there in Libya? Is there just the one?
I think just one at the moment in Tripoli. We did one in Benghazi where Dr. Abdullah was being there, but they are being moving and refurbished something. So that's why till we get clarified, we will open one center in Benghazi very soon. But depends on the candidate. We didn't have a candidate. The last time we did have only, this is the one problem we have. Regarding the payment and all the new generation they're asking because of the cost of the dollars is very high in Libya. That's the number of candidates low because they cannot afford. That's it. But I don't think the ophthalmic foundation will reduce their prices more than that because it is 1/3 of the ICO exam, really.
Yeah, and our aim at the moment, I mean, it's not to make any profit. So we are actually at the
Yeah.
moment running a loss for the exams. So, but in the future, our plan is to hopefully be able to reduce the fees further. But obviously, we have to sustain at the moment.
Yeah,
But as you
because
say,
depends on the number, Nicola. Is that right? Yeah, I think we depend on the number of the candidates, especially from us, Libya. We don't have, cannot afford to pay for that anyway. But wishing
no,
them all.
and also, being online and having centres locally to where trainees are taking the exams, it kind of cuts out travel, hotel accommodation, stress of travel. So we try and make it as convenient as possible. So the more centres available to trainees in their area, then the better it is financially, but also stress-wise, I believe.
Yeah, because about center in Benghazi, we'll try it as soon as I'll be back in Libya next week or so. I'll be find out if I find a suitable center, we'll get approved. But we want suitable candidates. This is the most important now. Good number of candidates from different parts of Libya. Okay, and thank you very much.
Have a safe flight. Take care.
Yeah.
Excuse me, I have
you
to
very
leave
much.
now. Bye. Okay, and bye-bye now. Bye, see you.
Bye, Professor.
Bye-bye.
There's some questions.
Yeah, I'm going to go through finish them now. The next question is, do I have to take the exams before the fellowships?
At the moment, if you were to apply for a fellowship now, then no. But as of September 27, then it will be a prerequisite to have passed at least the visual, if not the clinical exam from the Ophthalmology Foundation to be able to apply for a fellowship. So that's from September 27.
Thank you very much. The next question we have is how to register for the exam in September.
The application process is open now online. If you go via our website, you can set up your online portal, which will ask you to put up a photo, upload any relevant certification for your application, and then it will take you to the payment system. You can opt to pay in full now or spread the cost. And then the details will come over to us. We'll review all your documentation, and then we will hopefully accept you for the exam or ask you some questions via the portal, and then you will get confirmation. And that means that you're booked in for that centre.
Thank you very much. The next question we have is, can you please tell a junior ophthalmologist in simple terms how to start, and what exactly do they need to do to take the exams?
Yeah. Can I answer these
Yeah, please.
questions
Yeah.
as as a Libyan, as a Libyan ophthalmologist, I think the curriculum of the exam, the ophthalmology exam, is almost the same of the first Libyan the first Libyan board exams, and also the second part exams. It's almost the same materials. So if you want to get involved in the ophthalmology foundation, the same material you are going to read is almost the same of the Libyan board. So there is no any difference between them. So I think if you want to start, you can start with the same curriculum, the optics refractions, and also the visual science. So I think it's almost the same. I attend the exams, it's almost the same materials, the almost the same syllabus. There is no almost any difference between them.
Thank
And
you, Dr.
after
Abdallah.
you achieving the yeah, yeah, after achieving the IFF exam, you can apply in and you can have these points after you achieve the exams. There's, some criteria, and you can apply for the fellowship. You can choose your host, and then after you choosing your host, there is some, reviewing for your application, and then the final decision will send you to email, and then you can go to your fellowship. I think it will be paid, the center, the opportunity, hand-on training, and also there will be a pocket money for you for the traveling and the accommodation. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Abdallah. The next question we have is, where is the centre in Libya exactly?
The exam
Yeah.
is at the National Academy in Libya, in Tripoli. Sorry.
Thank you. The next question we have, is there a question bank available for free?
So there are practice questions via the website, and that covers all subjects. And it will tell you whether you have the answer correct or incorrect, and then we'll give you the correct answer. And then, as I said, we are working with CyberSite on a huge bank of questions in subjects of retina and glaucoma are actually going to be live in the next couple of weeks. And there's about 200, 250 questions in each of those. They're linked to the BCSC. They've been written by the team of CyberSite and checked by the Ophthalmology Foundation team. So they're good quality questions, and they're practice questions. As I said, our exams are mapped to the BCSC. It's really expensive, so we're not asking you to go and purchase it. So these questions will give you, the knowledge that you need, because it gives you the correct answer for taking the exams, but also gets you used to the format of the questions that we're asking.
Thank you very much. The next question is, are the practice questions and the educational materials only available after registration for the examination?
No, you can go online now and download the suggested reading list. You can go and practice the questions. And then CyberSite, you'll be able to have the questions in the next couple of weeks for retina and glaucoma. So you can go on and get a gist of it before you apply. So no, it's not you apply and then you can have access. It's actually on the website at the moment.
Thank you very much. I think this is a fellowship question, which I don't think we're going to be able to answer, but can we tell the candidates how to find a research opportunity?
The best person to ask, and she's not on this call, unfortunately, is Cordula Obermeyer. And I think if Rosie can put her email address up on the platform, that would be great. Cordula is amazing at her job and has been doing it for many years. So I think I wouldn't like to answer that, and I think she's the best person to contact.
Thank you. You just answered a question regarding the examination materials, etc. The same person has replied and said they don't understand. Does that mean it's not for free, the revision material
Yeah,
and
it's all for
practice
free,
questions?
all on the website. You don't have to apply for the exam to get access to it, and you don't have to pay for it. So if you go onto our website now, you can click on
Sorry,
trial question.
actually, sorry to interrupt, I've dropped the links there in the chat box, so it's all there for
Oh,
people
okay,
to
yeah. So the
look
links are
into.
on there. So yeah, you can. It's called the quiz. So you can take the sample questions quiz. It will give you the correct answer, give you a score, and then yeah, you'll get some idea. But it's for free. We there's no payment for that.
Thank you very much. Another fellowship question, maybe if we direct this candidate to culture again. If I manage to get a long-term fellowship of 1 year, can I apply for the 3 month fellowship grant to cover part of my fellowship at the same centre?
I think if you're given a grant for the year, then I think that's the money used. You wouldn't be able to then apply for the 3 month fellowship. But again, best person to ask is Cordula.
Thank you.
But just to say
Next
that
question.
the fellowship, sorry, Vicky. So just to say that the amount of funding for the fellowship has been worked out. So obviously, if you apply for a fellowship in New York, for example, obviously the cost of living and things are much higher than if you were to apply for a fellowship in India. So the related costs to those fellowships are obviously different. But it is worked out that, we have, Cordula's been doing it for many years, as I said, and they know how much it roughly costs to go to a centre in India and do a 3 month or a yearly fellowship, so that the finances are worked out on that basis.
Thank you. The next question we have is, can you do more than one exam in the same sitting?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So many trainees take the visual and optics in the first sitting, and then if successful, move on to the clinical. If for any reason that you were not successful in the visual and optics, but you were successful in one, then you could take the next one along with the clinical. So from experience, and I've been in exams for nearly 20 years, showing my age, but if you take all three in the same sitting, which is total of 8.5 hours. The pass rate for taking all three with one sitting is much lower than that of trainees that spread the exams out over a period of time. So my recommendation would be that you took the visual and optics in one sitting and the clinical. I think it's important to say as well that it does take time to prepare for these exams. So, and you've got commitments and etc. You've got family, you've got outside activities other than studying, and you've got work. So just make sure that you don't overload yourself and put yourself under too much pressure. That's why we run two sittings in a year, because it gives you the opportunity to take your exam and then move on to the next step. You haven't got to wait a whole 12 months. So yeah, just make sure that you're confident and you prepare well.
Thank you. How many parts does the examination program have in order to obtain the FIOF postnominal?
There's three. So there's visual sciences, optics and refraction, and clinical ophthalmology. And if you're successful in clinical, then you'll obtain FIOF. But equally, we're not asking you to go and resit if you're already been successful in an equivalent exam for visual and optics. So that's why we offer exemptions from ICO, COEXA, and the Royal Colleges in the UK, so London, Glasgow, and Edinburgh. So if you have those exams, ICO prior to and including 2022, then you could move directly onto our clinical, and if successful, then you will be awarded FIOF.
Thank you very much. The next question we have is, can I use my own laptop?
Yeah, some centres allow you to use your own laptop, and what we would ask you to do, we would send you a link 24 hours before your exam, and you would click the link and go on to your laptop to make sure that it was set up to the level that we require. And if it's not, then obviously we can configure it. But yes, you can use your own laptop. You will need to go to the centre where there is a human proctor.
Thank you very much. The next question is, if I pass the ICO optics exam in October 22 and the ICO basic exam in 2023, can I proceed to your exams, to your clinical exam?
Really good question, but unfortunately not. You will need to obtain the FIO, the FICO exam. So you'd have to pass their advanced exam to take our clinical, because we do not recognise the ICO after 2022. And the reason for that is that we cannot be sure that they are of the same quality and standard as the ophthalmology foundations are currently set at, and we have to be confident of that. if we are awarding FIOF. So my recommendation would be that if you have passed the optics, then you go back and take our visual, and we would accept your optics, if that makes sense. So you could go back and take our visual and then take our clinical to become a fellow. And then again, I think that would work out cheaper than taking any other comparable exam anyway. So yeah, unfortunately, anything after 2022, we don't accept.
Thank you very much. And the next question is, what is the difference between the ICO and the Ophthalmology Foundation exams?
A good question. So I worked for the ICO for several years, and they were fantastic, but we're better. So we are online, we're modern, we're efficient. You get clinical it's scenarios where we use videos and photographs in some of the exam paper. We are cheaper. We're more cost effective. We bring the exam to you. So, we're looking to expand across Libya and hopefully have a centre close to you. So that alleviates pressure of travel, stress. Our results are with you within 2 weeks. And as I said earlier, they went out within a week. And other comparable exams, you have to wait longer, which causes stress. And, you need to plan. Everyone's got a busy life. You want to plan and know what you're doing. So we release within 2 weeks. We have a payment plan where you can spread the costs. We have more opportunities of fellowships. So if you're successful in the IOF exams, then you've got more opportunity of gaining a fellowship award. And we also have the David and Molly Pyatt Award of the $10,000. We also, as a team, we're working every day, including weekends, which is a pleasure to do so. And that allows great communication between us. We're also implementing a global network of ambassadors for high achieving candidates, which brings you together as a community and will also it means someone locally to you and will be able to distribute information from us, but also we're open to critique and like hearing your feedback, positive and negative, because what that does is it allows us to improve our system and our processes and quality. And so, we like feedback from candidates to improve, and that helps us all. And in the end, quality of patient care increases. So, yeah, I mean that's that's the difference. That's personal opinion as well. But yeah, we're modern and efficient and cost effective.
Thank you very much. The next question we have is, you mentioned that the OF exams are globally recognised. Could you please clarify how passing these exams practically helps in terms of international career pathways?
Sure. So passing the exams, as I said, gives you more opportunity to fellowships and global networks. The exams are being recognised by the Royal College of Physicians and Surgeons at Glasgow, and we hope to announce that in the next couple of weeks, which will allow you to move through their system, and that is internationally recognised as well. Many of the institutes in the countries are, if you're applying for a job, a role, and you have the International Ophthalmology Foundation exams, and you're going up against someone that doesn't, then it makes you stand out from your peers and your colleagues. And we have an international board, international exams committee, fellowship committee, faculty development, accreditation. And so therefore, we're a relatively new organization. We've been going 5 years, but the depth and the experience behind that goes back many years. So for example, in our committee alone, we have over 20 years experience from the Royal College of Ophthalmologists, the Royal College of Physicians in Glasgow, Edinburgh. We have Professor Stewie, who has worked in education for years. So we have a broad and depth of international experts. And so therefore the word is getting out there. And it is, although it's been running for 5 years, 6 years, it is internationally recognized and is getting bigger, wider spread.
Thank you very much. The last question we have is, please, what is the pass mark for the visual science paper and the optics paper?
Yeah, so we use an Angoff method. So what that means is we get a pool of specialists to review each question and give that question of value within that exam paper. And what that means is we then look at everyone in the pool that's reviewed the questions in the paper, and then work out a mean. And from that, we derive the pass mark. So what that means for you as a trainee, as a candidate, is that the pass mark is set prior to you taking the exam. And what that means is that you could all be successful if you achieve the pass mark, but equally you could all, not be successful if you didn't reach the pass mark. But they're set prior to you taking the exam. We obviously we move around 10%, and we recycle 10% of the questions so that we can look at the cohort of candidates compared to the standard, and to make sure that's comparable across the board. And it sits around 50 to a 56% pass rate. So it's every exam sits around that mark, and it is consistent. And the pool of people that are trained in standard setting, I think there's around 20 to 30, and they're reviewed every year as well. So yeah, it's set before you take the exam.
Thank you very much. And that is all the questions we have. Thank you, everybody.
Great. Thank you so much, Vicky. And thank you everyone so much for joining today. I have put our contact details, so the general exams team, email address, and then our individual ones as well. If you have any questions, you can contact us. You can also find us on social media across all platforms. Just look up Ophthalmology Foundation, and we're active there, and you can also directly message us there with any questions too. I've also put the link to apply if anyone wants to submit their application for the next exam. And we really look forward to hearing from you all soon. Again, thank you so much, Dr. Abdallah, for taking the time
You
to
are
help us
welcome.
run this webinar, and for putting that amazing presentation together. We really appreciate it. And we look forward to hearing from you all soon. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a good evening. Thank you, Dr. Dalla.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.